Carr, and I am your Floyd County Auditor. I am also known as Aunt Gloria, right? Yeah. I have recruited my niece and my nephew, Clarrisa and Kevin, to help me teach you about what voting is. And maybe you already know what voting is. But let's just start with that question. Clarrisa, do you know what voting means?
Voting is a fair way to get what two groups want.
Right. How about you, Kevin? Do you know any more about voting?
Not very much.
Okay, that's all right.
I also know that it used to be only boys that used to vote.
How did you hear about that?
It's in this movie Xavier Riddle on PBS Kids. It's one of the new ones.
Really?
And it teaches you about people that lived long ago.
Yeah.
Like George Washington and Alexander Graham Bell. He was another president.
Okay. Well, do you know who this is?
That is Carrie Lane Chapman Cat. She was 7 years old.
Yes. Get that? Okay. So how old are you?
I am now 8 years old.
You're 8. How old are you, Kevin?
5.5.
5.5.
He's turning 6 in August 16th.
So, do you know who this is?
Carrie Chapman Cat.
Yes, that's Carrie. So this is her when she was close to your age, and this is her when she was older. Do you think she thought much about voting in this age?
Yes.
You think she did? At 7? But do you know that you were right, that women didn't get to vote at that age? And Carrie thought that that wasn't right. Carrie and lots of other women fought for women to be able to have the right to vote. So you know how they did that?
No.
They did marches. That's lots of women marching.
Did they hold up signs that said
did.
that girls should get a chance to vote too?
They did. They held up signs that said vote for women, or women's rights to vote, things like that. And Carrie ended up writing what they call the winning plan. That was what finalized where women could get the rights to vote. And what she meant by that is that everyone should have the same right to vote. Men got to vote, but women didn't get to vote.
And then women got to vote a few years later.
So do you think that everyone should have a right to vote?
Yes.
So whether they're boys or girls. So what if
out of all ages.
Yep. So that's a good question. What age do you think was the right age for someone to vote?
Well, mostly they should be at least like 4 and up.
4 and up. And what should they get to vote for at age 4?
Well,
like the President of the United States?
No.
No.
But they can vote like for what food to have for lunch, for supper, or where to go to the park, what park.
Right. And do you think their vote should matter?
Yes.
Yeah. So
because without votes,
if
everyone
the vote
would have
was
an
for,
argument.
do you want to have donuts for supper or pizza for supper? What would you vote for?
I'd do pizza because that's more of a supper thing.
And you would do donuts?
Donuts more of a breakfast, so I'd say pizza because pizza is more of a supper and lunch thing.
Yeah. And so what do you think Mom would let you have for supper?
Pizza.
Pizza? Not donuts?
No donuts. That'd be a dessert.
Not everybody wins when they vote, do they? No. Some people get what they want. Some people don't get what they want. But the important part is they all got a chance to vote.
Like when we'll vote
We'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'm going to show you another picture of a lady. I'm going to show you this lady right here. Her name is Jeanette Rankin. She lived in Montana back in 1916.
That's over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I just said the same thing that Brad does in Xavier Riddle.
So, what, in 1916, did women have the right to vote yet? No. But you know what? She got elected into a position where she got to vote for decisions, or got to be in an office where she got to make rules for the United States, help make rules for the United States, but she didn't even get to vote for herself in an election. But she fought also for women's rights to vote, but she didn't even get to vote the first time that she ran for office. She didn't get to vote for herself. No other woman got to vote for her, but some men did vote her in. That's how she got into office. But so then when all these women marched, like that picture that I showed you, all those women, and men also marched, because many men thought it was right for women to vote as well.
So the men that thought it was right to vote for girls too went into that parade?
There were some men too. Yeah, many men. And, we're just talking about men and women, but what about, do you think the color of your skin should matter if you get to vote? Shouldn't, should it?
And black and brown people, they got treated really different.
They did. They did. And sometimes they are. Some of them are still treated different, aren't they? Yeah, there's a lot in the news about that today, isn't there?
Yeah, and we also saw a video from my mom, and there were two little kids. One was black and one was white like us. Mm-hmm. They were friends, and they both went and hugged each other.
And that's the way it should be, right? We should all be friends, shouldn't we? We should all be kind to each other. Yeah. So let's do, if we had searched for, you had two options that you got to vote for. And one was search for wildlife at the creek, and the other one was playground for a fun Earth Day cleanup. Which would you vote for, Clarrisa?
That's a tough one because I do like wildlife, and playgrounds are also kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'd rather do playground because then you'd be helping the earth pick up.
That's good, yeah. But there'd be nothing wrong with this one
I would
either.
rather do nature. You
would do the wildlife one, Kevin?
Yeah. What would
but
you do?
You would be really upset if I said it doesn't matter what you think, Kevin, right? But that's what happened to women 100 years ago. So we're celebrating women's right to vote this year. The whole year we're celebrating women's right to vote. But we want to make sure everybody has a right to vote, right?
What would you think we should do? Pick up at the playground or search for wildlife?
This would be a tough one for me too, because I like the wildlife too. I'd probably try to do both of them, but I can't vote for both, can I?
I'd do cleanup because you have to help the earth.
That's right. That's a good point. And that's what is great, is many people have different opinions on why they vote for what they vote for. And it's not that any one of them is wrong, but it's good for them to all vote. So let's see, what else did I want to say to you? So do you know what we're here for? Why we're doing this video?
For voting.
For voting.
And why it's fair for women to vote too.
Right. Do you know who your audience is? You know who's going to be watching this video? The people
maybe my best friend Tori is
Maybe Tori
But
will.
she doesn't have a tablet, she has a Kindle.
Oh, I think that might work. I don't know.
And she has Kids Messenger, and I had a sleepover with her a few days ago, and I got a few letting her this.
Oh no, that's not good. So the kids that we're recording this for are going to be watching this video in a couple of weeks, and they are going to get a packet of things that will help them learn about what Carrie Lane Chapman Cat did and what voting is about, and they're going to get a chance to vote on a couple of things. They get to choose if they want jacks or marbles. And so they won't get to vote like this, but they're going to vote, and I get to tally their votes up. Do you know what tally means?
They're low straight lines up and down, and once you reach 4 straight lines up and down, you go sideways or diagonal
Right.
down all 4 lines.
That's right. And that would be how many votes then?
5.
5 votes, right.
Because you'd have 4, like I said, 4
Yep.
up and down lines, and then you stop. Then you do one that's diagonal and goes through all 4.
Right. Yep. So, and normally we have this video at Caroline's house. Do you know? Have you been to Caroline's house yet? Someday you'll have to go out there, but because of COVID, we don't get to go out there today. So we're doing this all electronically. But they would normally vote a ballot, which is just a single piece of paper, and they would check jacks or marbles, and then someone like me, the county auditor, would have people that would take all of those ballots and count them up and see which one wins. So I get to do that in a couple of weeks.
And if we're doing tallies, you can just count by 5s.
Yep. So I'll get to do that. So if you sign up for that day camp, you could vote as well for jacks or marbles
I'm doing
and
day
find
camp.
out what the results are. And so what I do, like we'll just have you two right now. Would you go ahead and vote for which one you would like?
I like
And
marbles.
so by the way, your decision, whatever wins here, means that's what everybody gets. So if more people, you know what a majority is?
like a simple amount.
A majority is 1 more than half. So if you had 10 things, what's half of 10?
5.
Yeah. So a majority would be 1 more than 5. 1 more than half. What's that? 5 plus 1.
6.
6. So 6 or more people, if 6 people voted for jacks and 4 people voted for marbles, who
Jacks
would win?
would win.
And then what does that mean?
That we'd get jacks.
Everybody gets jacks.
And also, I have plenty of marbles. But I also like these kinds. I never had jacks before, so I think I might vote for.
All right. So rather than you having your own ballot, I'm just going to have you mark on there. And Kevin, you can too. You want to vote for jacks or marbles? All right. So we have 2 votes for jacks. So
We're
you'll
doing
have
jacks.
to tune in to see what happens in 2 weeks if jacks or marbles wins. Right?
Mhm.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say about voting?
Not right now.
Okay. Well, you could always talk to me about voting because I'm the county auditor and I do elections. So you can always talk to me about voting if you want to. Okay?
Okay.
Kevin, do you have any more you'd like to say about voting?
No.
Nope. So you don't get donuts for supper though, okay?
No. That'd be more of a dessert or breakfast.
There you go. All right. So I'd like to thank all of you for listening to Clarrisa and Kevin and me. And we're looking forward to finding out the results of jacks or marbles. Thank you. Bye, everybody.